Yes, we're here at the Cookies HQ, and we sat down for a very special episode with my boy Berner, where he gave us all the game that you're gonna need. So check it out.
I don't really actually ever talk about this shit at all. We're about to make history. Cookies is popping, everything's going. I'm like, oh, this momentum, then cancer. Out of cancer to like Forbes. Boom, 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 then big lawsuits.
Drug kingpin Luke Scarmazzo was arrested today for running a medical marijuana dispensary near the death zone.
Welcome everybody to the show Joint Forces. We back at the table and we taking our portions. Of course, the discourse is a sativa show where the content and the guest is unbelievable, but we speak in codes. It's the podcast of the culture, so you already know. We from that big West Coast, boy, where it never snows, where the topics get hot, but the rosin is cold. Here's the next episode, yeah.
Welcome everybody to another show of Joint Forces. As you can see, this show is rare, exclusive, and very, very special. Today, I have with me father, family man, fiance, Billboard chart topping recording artist, independent film producer, social media savant, a marketing visionary, CEO and founder of Cookies, one of the most globally recognized brands, clothing lines, and lifestyles, the founder and CEO of Vibes Rolling Papers, CEO and founder of Burn One Entertainment, the mogul of the movement, the GOAT, El Chivo, the first one with the branded bag, first Canna CEO on the cover of Forbes, billionaire Burn, international tastemaker, global entrepreneur, cultural icon, the man who went from hustling in front of the building to owning it, Berner.
That's the hardest intro I've ever had, brother. Salute, man.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, man. I'm
Hell
gonna
yeah.
have to bite it off. You.
Yeah, no problem,
That
brother.
shit's hard right there.
Listen,
Thank you,
well
brother.
deserved though, dog. Well
Yeah.
deserved, for
Thank
real.
you.
This like show right here, dog, this one is really special to me because we've been talking about it for a minute, right?
Yep.
Of getting it in the works. But to be able to sit down like with somebody that was in the movement at the beginning of everything, right? What we saw at the beginning of this cannabis movement back in the day, I don't think anybody has the front row seat to. And nobody's really talked about it yet. Nobody's really like, the history hasn't been written on it yet, right? So I think like these shows right here are like the most important because this is us like taking our story, right? Taking ownership of our story before somebody else does.
Yep.
So, I mean, I just want to say thank you, bro. Thank you for your time, for having us on here. And, man, this is going to be a special show.
I appreciate you pulling up to me too. Because,
Yeah.
you know, we've been wanting to do it since we sat down in Vegas. I just been moving around with the baby and whatnot. But the fact you pulled up today, we're about to make history. And
You already know.
same goes to you, bro. I've been seeing you do your thing, and we're doing our thing at the same time, which is why this is very full circle for me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, for sure, man. So I like always on the show to back up and talk about like where we came up from, where the beginning. You grew up Frisco, Sunset by Golden Gate Park.
Yep. By Ocean Beach. Yep.
In the 80s. What was that like?
So in the 80s, we're actually in Daly City. It's like a suburb of SF.
Right.
We're in Daly City, and I'd come to SF every day because my dad has a restaurant. So it's cool growing up in the Bay. I grew up in the Bay till about like 5th grade.
Right.
And then in 6th grade, when I started 6th grade, I went out to Arizona, all kind of on and off throughout high school. I bounced back and forth from Arizona to my dad's apartment above his restaurant. My father moved to SF proper when I went to Arizona.
Right.
So we had like a little small apartment on top of his Mexican restaurant. So I bounced back and forth from AZ to SF. So it was cool, man. Grew up in the Bay early on in the 80s and 90s was amazing. I mean, just very diverse and just very good culture, and just kind of was able to see like the Bay Area culture was very rich at that time.
And you had like a interesting contrast going from the Bay to like Arizona, which is totally different than the Bay.
Culture shock.
Right.
Yeah.
I can see how that would develop your worldview right there, because you're not just stuck. Like when somebody's stuck in either one of them, whether it be Arizona or the Bay, like that's all we see, right? But when you have that dynamic of you seeing how people are living down in the desert, down in the bottom, and then, you know, the cultural like awakening and inspiration that goes on in the Bay Area, it was probably a pretty deep contrast, right?
It was crazy going from like growing up with like all different type of nationalities and good foods and crazy things to going to AZ, where it's like, whoa,
right?
It's very big, especially back then. Like when I was in 6th grade, you know, I don't remember what year it is. I'm terrible with that shit, but it was way different than Arizona is now. Arizona's progressed a lot.
Right.
A lot of different people moved out there and kind of lit it up. But when I first went, it was just it's different.
Right. Yeah. When you guys were living above the restaurant, was it like a family thing? Everybody joining in, like helping out at the restaurant, or was it just your pops' gig?
It was my pops thing. So it was a studio apartment, which is, you know, just smaller than the room we're in, way smaller than the room we're in. It was me, my pops, my little brother, and my dad, one of my dad's chefs. So it was 4 of us in just one little area, and it was kind of tough. It was tough, but you know, my pops had like a good team there, and it was cool living in the inner city. Like it was tight. Like I was always able to see SF by going to my dad's restaurants when I was little, but to be able to live there was cool, right. Especially at that age. So I was smoking weed and shit at that time too, so it was cool.
Oh yeah,
yeah, for sure.
When was the first time you smoked? How early?
It was end of 5th grade, beginning of 6th grade. So
Damn.
Summer before 6th grade.
He's the first one that has beat me on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got 12, and everybody I've talked to, I've had them edged off by like a few months or at least a year. You got me. Berner got me, man. He started earlier.
Arizona was like, kids were trying to grow up fast out there. So the first time I smoked was in AZ.
Right.
And that's right before we started 6th grade.
Did you get lit the first time you smoked?
I got like kind of like groggy and hungry because it was like Mexican brick weed. It wasn't like fire, but like obviously, you know, we felt something because we just, it was a little
game changer.
Yeah.
Over with. Yeah, it was the same shit. We smoked some brick weed. My bro had some joints rolled up, and we were waiting on the bus, and we were going to take him to school and sell them for $2. And he was like, let's fire one up before we go. And we're like, yeah, all right. So we smoked one before the bus, missed the bus, of course, end up going to school. I didn't really get like lit though. And then when I came home, I lived in a neighborhood with a bunch of Asian homies. And when I came in, like they're all older, they're gangbanging and shit by that time. And I tell them, yo, I smoked, but I didn't really get lit. And they're like, oh no, we're going to get you lit now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You asked for it.
Yeah. I asked for it.
Yeah. See, we were playing around with weed before we smoked it. So my boys, all my homies, bigger brothers out there in Arizona were selling like big bales, like at the garage. One of the homies was living in a stash house. I didn't even understand what that was at the time. We just had like the kick it spot, And so we go in the garage and just pull like pieces off a real bale. You know what I'm saying? Go in the bathroom, turn on the hot shower, and watch it expand. And we thought it was funny. Right. And we take it, we chew on it in school. And we try to do anything with it. And then we end up rolling the J in a Walgreens receipt and smoking it. And, just, I think the ink probably got us higher than the weed at the point. And then and we smoked a couple more. But we had a hell of weed around us. When I came back to SF, and I was obviously smoking bud and visiting my friends and the older brothers had weed. They didn't believe how much weed I was around because obviously in Cali it's a lot different, a lot more pricey and whatnot. So
yeah, and like when a lot of the bros that are right there on the border in Arizona, they are getting bales and they're getting them cheap over there
for sure. And we're playing with that shit. That's crazy.
For sure. We were even by us, like in Modesto, we were getting them back then for like $250, and that was cheap. So,
super cheap. It's crazy.
Yeah, my first memories actually as a kid is walking in on my dad and my aunt, and he got 3 bricks of Mexican weed on a triple beam on their dresser. Fire. And I remember the smell. That's why I'll never forget it because of the smell. Like, like when a fragrance brings you to a certain time. That's
it's
what
like
it was.
Skunk mixed with some gasoline because they do some weird shit together. Just shady as fuck. Yeah.
So when do you first start getting into music and doing music?
So I got I was in continuation high school in Arizona, and when I was kind of on my way back and forth, I always been a big fan of trying to show people in Arizona what the Bay Area was all about. All the old school albums like 17 Reasons and San Quentin and Rappin' Forte and you know the Jack. And I was just trying to show people that the Bay had a dope sound. And so I was in a continuation school out there, and some kid kind of convinced me that he's like, you rap? I'm like, no. He's like, you look like you should rap. I'm like, he's like, spit something. I'm like, what? He did a freestyle. He's like, you do it. I did some terrible thing. And he was like, you know what? I think you could be big one day. He's like, you should buy my equipment so you can make songs at the house. I'm like, really? How much? He's like, $250. So I went to my mom, like, yo, can I get $250 for this equipment? She's like, nope. I'm like, cool.
Hell no.
Figure out some shit, hustle with some boys, grabbed it. And the funny thing was, I remember buying it and being all juiced. I actually accomplished getting it. But all he did was take that money and go get a real 8-track.
Right.
What he sold me was like a karaoke machine type thing where I could put a tape in, play a beat, put another tape in and record to it. So it was like some weird shit.
Right.
But me and my friends had fun with it, like in the garage, just smoking, getting high, and just recording to it. So I started fucking with it then. So early high school days, like
Damn.
probably like junior year of high school.
So even though he got you on the equipment, he actually knew that you were gonna make it one day, bro.
He manipulated me. He wanted to use me. He ripped me off to get a better equipment, but he kind of forced my hand to fuck with it.
So really appreciate it.
Yeah, Wicked Wizard. His name is Wicked Wizard. I've been looking for Wicked Wizard for like 10 years. I keep shouting him out, but he's never found me or reached out to me. But I mean, he was tight, and he blessed me because I would have never fucked with music at all.
Wicked Wizard, man. Hit joint forces. We need you to tap in with Berner, for real. You are like, part of the story of why the man is a global phenomenon right now.
Yeah, there would be no me if it wasn't for that guy.
That's right.
His manipulation tactics.
Good old manipulation tactics got you to blow up.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool, man.
For sure.
You've done songs with everybody, bro. I mean, like, I think I would sit here on the show, on the rest of the show, and name like all the dope artists that you've worked with. One of the ones that like stood out to me is I'm just a huge fan of your song with Nipsey.
Yep,
bro.
He's a real one too.
Tell me a little bit about like just making the song, when it came out, the feeling, everything. Yeah,
man. So Nipsey was like one of the only rap cats that really gave me props on my rap. Like people fuck with me because I'm good at what I do as far as like brand building and hustling and shit like that. But he was always like, bro, you dope. Like, right on, man. Nipsey was cool as fuck. And he hit me one day and he was like, man, you kind of did for the word cookies what Dr. J did for the word chronic. I'm like, damn, that's crazy to look at it like that. If people hear cookies, they think about weed. You did that. I'm like, that's dope. And I was like, man, let's get a record. And he's like, cool, let's do it. Pull up to the studio. So I came solo, hopped in an Uber or a cab, I forgot what it was, and went to the studio. And
down in LA?
Yeah, down in LA. He was down there. He was hella deep. It was like 40 people in that motherfucking thing.
40, 60s Crips in there.
It was packed. It was packed. I popped in there. Was like, who's? Oh, okay. And we smoked good. And I put on the beat. He's like, all right, dope. He went in there, laid a sick ass verse to it, and blessed me. I'm like, bro, man, good shit. And I said, we got to get the video. And he's like, just let me know. I think this is the coolest thing about Nip is that he was so real. So the day the video comes up and he's like, yo, I'm about to be on my way. I'm like, cool. Shot my scenes and waited for him, bro. And he just didn't pull up. I'm like, damn, I called him a couple times, but I didn't want to blow his line. I'm like, fuck, he just faked on me. Some rap shit, right?
Some rap shit.
No big deal. And he called me later on that night. He's like, bro, I was dealing with some real shit. Like, I don't really want to talk about what I was dealing with, but it was some real shit for me not to show up. Let me know the camera guy you use, and I'll shoot my shit tomorrow. I'm like, all right, I'm not really going to bet on it.
Right.
Gave him the information, and sure enough, he shot a scene back to me, went back to the same building I was at.
Some dope shit, too.
Shot a scene. I'm like, damn, bro, he's a real one for doing that, bro. Right. Like, he didn't have to do it. I already accepted he wasn't going to do it. I wasn't even mad because I got the verse, but he just blessed me, and that just speaks to his character and who he is.
Right. No, he is a real one, man. R.I.P. for real, man. Rest in power, King, right there. His music is still inspirational, and he's one of the guys who knew, like, he got it. You know what I mean? He knew it. Not a lot of your rappers, period, are going to be kicking the game and knowledge that Nip had. And that song that you guys had together, you could feel the energy on it, man. It was a dope track, though.
Super dope.
I was knocking it on the way over here.
Yeah,
I was
right
like,
on.
Man, yeah, that shit was
timeless.
hard.
It was a good one, man.
Timeless, bro.
I hope that song has a gold record sometime soon or something.
It will.
Yeah.
It will. It's one of those, for real.
Yeah.
And I mean, just it's two legends on that thing, though.
Yep.
Straight up.
Yeah, it's just dope, man.
Kendrick is doing his thing right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's doing his thing right now. What did you think about the Super Bowl halftime?
It was cool. It was dope. I mean, I just feel like I would have wanted to see bring other people out. You know, like I wanted to see my boy Schoolboy Q. Just selfishly wanted to see the homie.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
He did a pretty good job. It was dope to see the West Coast shine at an event like that. They never really had rap cats ever before. I think 50 and Snoop and Dre were the first ones to do it. So it was cool to see it continue. I think he did a good job. Good breath control. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was amazed with, because, I mean, you know better than anybody how many shows you've done. To be able to go do live shows without those, you know, all those backup tracks on and stuff, and really do real hip hop, like really give the crowd a real show, like that's hard to do. You got to have real breath control. You got to really
especially with those songs,
bro.
Hella rap in those songs. I was like, damn, okay, that fool really did that shit. It was dope. I mean, it looked great on TV. It was a good representation of the West Coast. I mean, he did what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, I did. I thought so too. I thought it was cool too that he didn't get scared of the lawsuit and said, "Fuck it, I'm doing it." You know,
sometimes you just gotta buck the system.
Sometimes you gotta buck the system. Yeah, for real. Yeah, that's how we're here, right? Yeah, for bucking the system. 100%. Some people had to push this envelope forward to get to where we are. And people before us, you know what I'm saying? We stood on the shoulders of cats that came before us that were bucking the system.
Cats have been humbled, the whole shit.
Yeah. Shout out to the Triangle up there. And in my book, I talk a lot about my misconception that like the game had kind of passed the Triangle, you know, when we were booming our stuff and doing indoor. We were, you know, linked with the Bay, and I'm like, man, them boys up in Humboldt, like that was their day back in the day, man. Until we got that plug up there, and then I saw what them cats are doing up there, and whoa.
Man, I got papered up off greenhouses before people knew what they were. You know what I'm saying? Like back when greenhouses were hitting, I had the OGs and the chems just on lock, and it just made a lot of bread off those. I was getting them for a good price and sweet price, and even wiggles, some good outdoors in. But the greenhouse movement, before people knew what it was, before out-of-town buyers came here and figured out what it was just a fucking crazy
It was indoor. Yeah. That's what it was.
I never even, it's just, it's chem dog.
Yeah, that's straight chem, fire. I'll take 38
Stanky,
for it.
And they're around, and, you know, I was hitting them for 42s and just chilling. You know what I'm saying? Right. It was a good time. I'm glad I walked away from that side of the business before it is what it is now. I hear people selling pounds for like $300, $400, $500. I'm like, this is a disgrace. Right. A disgrace.
No, it is that. That's what the game is out there. If you don't have some top end indoor or something, you're not getting anything for it. The market is cutthroat.
I just think it's laziness. I mean, if you really wanted to put if you want this and it's fire, and you want this and it's 3 bands, then that's what it is. Right. You gotta stand on that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like,
people are getting scared. They're nah, just give me, you know, not 900 for it. Fuck that.
Yeah. No, stand on your quality for sure. And if it really is worth 3 bands, they'll pay it. Straight up.
Only way to make it worth 3 bands is have someone no one else has, and just have that on lock and just have it great. And if you're pheno hunting and finding great things and you know how to pump it up, then, like, you know, I encourage people, keep the price, hold the price, don't keep it going down, because at this rate you'll see pounds for $100, $200 soon. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and then that hurts everybody.
Yeah, it's just whack for the game.
Going back 2005, 2004. For us, Ricardo and I, who's my co-founder was my co-founder at CHC, my co-founder and co-defendant now on Profit. I love saying that. But in 2005, 2006, like, the granddaddy changed the game, bro.
For sure. It was like a sequence. It was like, first you have like Brian Lynn, Trainwreck and shit like that. Then it went kind of like Granddaddy Purple. Then it went like Bubba Kush and OG Sour around that same time. Then you have like the Cookies of the world type shit.
Yeah, it was definitely in a cycle. I think that craze of like that 05, 06 of the really dark purples and stuff changed the buying patterns and stuff of the rest of the industry from that point forward. Like the first candies and the first really color like exotics, right?
Made people just have to go crazy for it. Like
Bro.
the South was introduced to
Oh my
it.
God.
People in Atlanta were going crazy for it. Houston was going crazy for it. It was a big thing. It was in rap songs. People were flexing. I remember Mac Dre loved Perp and Jack loved Perp. It was big.
Keek was in there yelling about shit. You didn't even have to go out of state. We could send them down to LA and get 5 bands all day back then. It wasn't like it is now. Like LA has their thing they're doing their thing now, and everybody's growing. But back then, like
the exotics came from NorCal
all day.
Yep.
All day. Yeah. Those days are behind us now, right? Every like that era will never be around, and it shouldn't. Like it's part of the progression of where we at and where we're at as men and a society. You now have like pivoted into being a family man, right? That's like, I see you all the time. Like you're posting about it. When we talk, you're always really enthusiastic about your son and your daughter and the baby that's on the way. Your fiance, Ashley, like you could see that it's like a family unit, that there's a lot of love and like you really enjoy it now. Like talk to me about that pivot now.
It's just tight. I always love, raising my daughter, Janelle. Just unfortunately, me and her mom kind of split ways early. So I wasn't really able to do like a unit type thing, but I had a great co-parenting situation, raise my daughter. But now at 41 years old, it's just tight to actually be able to focus and spend time and say, I don't have to go outside. Like today I said, after our interview, I'm going to go home. I'm going to go chill. It's Friday. I don't need to go out nowhere. I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to go chill with the family and teach my son different things and just be around him and just enjoy his energy and enjoy my girl. And just, it's cool to be in a position to do that. Before it's, I have to be outside. I have to be here. I have to be somewhere on a Friday night to make money. I have to go do this. Like, it's just good not to have to do that. But also I think it's a great balance for the stress we have to deal with. Our industry is very stressful, right. A lot of drama, a lot of weird unknowns. Like we don't know what's going to happen with this or that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just headaches in our space. So it's a good balance for that. So I think it's just good for me at my age in my career, especially after some of the shit I went through just with health and whatnot. Like it's just cool to have that.
Right. You said a key word in there, balance. Like, how do you find that balance, bro? Like, because our mentality, like we have the hustler mentality, right? It's go get it. And it's hard to turn that off. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard. I had a hard time last night. Like sometimes I could turn it off, but I never really can. I just kind of put my foot down and be like, I have to go be home with my kid. Because even if I'm like this with him, I'm there with him.
Right.
But like last night, going to bed, like it was like around 8 p.m. I could put him down. I was on my phone, but my fingertips were burning so bad from just holding this big ass fucking phone all day. Texting, writing the book, texting, call. Like my hands hurt. I was like, man, put your fucking phone down. I put it down, and then my mind was just spinning. I'm laying there, I'm like, fuck, I can't get comfortable. Fucking toss and turn, trying to watch a movie. I couldn't think of my man. I'm having a little baby anxiety attack.
Right.
Why? I can't stop thinking about everything. She's like, well, that's your fucking fault. So sometimes you just can't turn it off, but that's part of the game. It's a gift and a curse. Have
you ever tried like a meditation?
Nah, I don't have enough patience for that.
Bro, I'm telling you, I didn't think I did either, but I just tried doing it, and I could do it for like 30 seconds or 20 seconds first, and then I could do it for like a minute. And now I can sit for like 5 minutes now. I'm not doing it hella long, but just to sit in those 5 minutes, like I can like quiet everything down for a second.
Yeah, I can't do it. I smoke and think I'm trying to calm myself down. Oh, it doesn't make me think more and harder. Sitting there, mind racing and shit, like fuck it.
That's that mind fuck we tell ourselves. I was like, yo, I need to smoke so I can just chill. And then you smoke and you just go on the trip.
It just doesn't
Life
stop.
trip.
It's spin monkey brain. They call it monkey brain. Late night, I just can't stop thinking about it.
Right. You're writing a book now.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, man. What's the title of it?
So
do you have a title? Is there a working title?
There's a working title, but I can't say just yet.
Okay.
And I can't say who the book's with, but it's a pretty big publisher. And I think the coolest thing about it is they're letting me write it myself.
Right.
So, a lot of books. I don't know how you did your book, but I don't know if you wrote it yourself.
Yeah.
Did you write it yourself?
I actually wrote mine in the shoe in the fence.
Real one. So I'm kind of doing mine on my cell phone. I'm just writing in my notes, and then I send it to someone that kind of corrects grammar, but it's my words. It's from me.
Good.
It's my story. It's kind of like a business memoir type thing. It's kind of like about my journey and things I've learned about marketing, branding, just my experience in business, building cookies or whatnot. It's cool. I think it's going to be pretty good for me just to be able to get this one off and bring it to the world, because a lot of people ask me questions and I've tried to answer as much as I can in interviews and shit, but it's a lot more deeper. And then from there, I like to tell some other stories in my journey too. So I think there's lots of stuff to talk about. And if people like it and it's well received, I'm going to keep going. Because we were talking about earlier, kind of like hit a Forrest Gump moment with music. It's like I'm at the road right now with a long beer. Like, I just want to go home now. Like, I don't really know what else to talk about. But books is a whole different ballgame. I can really express myself in a different way. It's tight.
Yeah, it's way different. It's way different. Like when I wrote my book, I didn't have any idea how it was going to come out. And now that when I see it, the finished product, it's a game changer. It's not like making music. It's not like writing music. It's not like painting. It's a totally different form of art, man.
Yeah, it's a next level of storytelling.
Yeah, it is. I'm interested in reading yours because you tapped in on a couple of things that I want to ask you about. Like, for one, marketing, bro. Mm-hmm. You are like a marketing genius. You didn't go to any fancy, New York School of Law. You didn't go over to Horton Business School. Like, you weren't at Harvard. You were at Harvard. We'll talk about when you were at Harvard. But my point is, you didn't have any kind of formal education into this. But there's people that are trying to steal your playbook that have had formal education. They're probably asking you to come speak and talk about marketing and to professors that have studied this their whole life.
Yeah, or trying to ask for like some kind of like advice or whatnot. I mean, I think I was writing about this the other day because the chapter I'm working on right now is about marketing. And so I was kind of like, I think I just worked with consumers for a very long time, whether it be like working at the restaurant as a busboy, as a waiter, as a bar back, as a bartender, as a barista at a coffee shop, at the hemp center, as, intake guy, bud tender, manager. I worked at Imaginarium. I worked at Wendy. I worked with so many fucking people. I understood kind of like what people want and how they want to receive it.
Right.
I just understood what people want. I also was able to understand what people gravitate to when they're shopping and shit. So I just feel like my style of marketing is like speak to the consumer and also put that respect on the rollout. Like right now, I know I just booked a venue in Chico on 419, but I'm teasing the fuck out of it.
Right.
First thing I put was like 419 ? Chico.
Right.
Then I put like, something on my notes and I just a little story that should I add it and then I'll come with the flyer. Then so it's like putting respect on the rollout. Like if you just post a flyer, I'll be in Chico that's cool, but like get people juice on it, get people invested in it.
Right.
Get people talking about it, get people reposting your shit, like build it up a little bit,
Right. That's 100.
Yeah.
No, that's 100. And like, so what? In order to do that, to know what the consumer wants, how do you put yourself in that position? Do you flip the script around, or do you just say like, this is what I think I like?
I think it's like what I like, but also like kind of what I've seen people gravitate to and what I see them react to. Like if you put, should I do this show? And you put a question mark, there's going to be a bunch of people talking about it, tagging people.
Right.
It's kind of create a little hype. Like, it's
right.
kind of
See, like kind of gauge it.
Yeah. Just create engagement in some way, shape or form.
Right. So yeah, the book process is something that I think we don't realize. Like it looked so daunting to me at the beginning. I was like, damn, I got to write a whole book. And I put it off for years, bro. I didn't even like dive into the story and knew I wanted to tell it. But once I started and I actually had something, like actually had like the first 20 pages, then it was like, oh, I got something real now. And it really inspired me. And then I was like writing. And it was cool. But I had to do something, like I had to give myself a discipline to write at least 4 pages every day at a certain time.
Yeah. I'm really good at procrastinating. So I'm like, my shit's due March 1st. And I have 3 chapters to write. So I'm on it right now. I'm just like trying to crack away real quick every morning. But I'll have it done before March 1st.
They give you an advance on that thing?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Catch that shit out.
Got a good one.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. That's beautiful.
I needed it too. Shit. So
Run that.
Bless.
Not too long ago, you go through like one of the craziest parts of your life that I'm sure has ever come upon you. You find out that you're diagnosed with cancer. Mm-hmm. Take me back to that time. You go in, you find out. It
was random how I even found out. So like I was sitting at the house one day. I was in one of my high thoughts. I'm like, what am I missing in my life? Like looking at my dog, looking at the crib. I'm like, damn, I'm doing pretty good for myself. But what am I missing right now? I'm like, probably someone that cares about me and my health, right? Like probably missing like someone that actually really cares, because doctors are kind of like, it's like McDonald's. You go in there, you see, and boom,
It's a business.
like it's a business and it's a numbers game. I'm like, I wonder if I should like entertain getting like a doctor that actually really cares about me as a person. So I called my partner. I'm like, yo, you wouldn't happen to know like a private doctor, would you? He's like, maybe. I'm like, yeah, I'm just looking for someone that actually really like look into me and care about me. I was at this company called One Medical. It's like a step above Kaiser, so you get to go in and talk to a guy one-on-one, and it was like wasn't really it. So I'm like, just COVID, and I'm like, I just want to have someone taking care of me. So he called me back. He's like, look, one of our investors for our fund is actually a private doctor. He only does Silicon Valley, but he said he'd fuck with you because he obviously wants you to be healthy. I'm like, cool. So I called the guy, and it's funny because my whole goal was to get ivermectin. I wanted to get ivermectin in case I got COVID, and I wanted to understand how to take it.
You wanted to have the secret juice. So
I called him and said, what does it look like to come on as a client? He's like, well, it's going to be $40,000 a year as a membership fee, and then, whatever goes on top of that. I'm like, 40 G's just to sign? I'm like, okay. Hey, can you give me ivermectin? He's like, absolutely not. I'm like, this guy wants to charge me 40 grand, won't even give me ivermectin. What if I need something else? He doesn't want to give it to me. I'm like,
right. Not for 40 G's.
I said, I'll get back to you, bro. I'll let you know. And I thought about it a little more. I'm like, you know what? I know rappers, they go blow 40 G's in a night at a nightclub and, or on the tables. I know I blew 40 G's on tables before. Fuck it. I'm going to sign up. So I signed up, and the first appointment, he said, let's do a blood test, but I also want to offer you something that's brand new. It's called Gallery. It's a test that can test for cancer through your blood. You can test for 50 different cancers. I'm like, all right, cool. He said, you're cool to do it? I'm like, yeah. He's like, cool. So I took the blood, and then 2 weeks later said, you got a second to talk. And probably when he texted me, I was like, oh, shit. My stomach dropped because what...
He ain't gonna, that's not...
I already got my A1C from, all my other things. I already got all my other... This is the one thing I just knew was kind of sitting. Yeah. So he told me, he's like, bro, you got colon cancer. I'm like, what? What the fuck? I'm like, I don't have any symptoms. He's like, well, sometimes you don't really have symptoms until it's too late. So, okay. He's like, we have to get in ASAP and look at this thing. I'm like, okay. He's like, but don't worry. Hopefully it's something we can just cut out and small. Right. Okay, cool. So we, fucking obviously broke down, tears, called the family, told my daughter. Everyone's like, what the fuck? Ooh. But we didn't really know yet what it was.
How did you go into that conversation with your daughter and the kids?
I was like, yo, they said I have colon cancer. Like, I don't
straight in.
Yeah, I was like, I don't fucking know what the hell it means, but I'm about to go do a colonoscopy, and they said they should be able to cut it out. Right. Because, they're hoping there was like a polyp type thing. Sure. So I wake up from the colonoscopy, and I'm like, you cut it out? You cut it out? And she's like, it's too big. Oh, I'm like, oh, fuck. And that's why I really bawled. I started bawling hard. And the lady told me, she said, you know what? I have brain cancer. I'm like, what the fuck? It's the lady helped me out. She's like, I got brain cancer and I'm being strong. You got to be strong. I'm like, okay, cool. I manned up. And
that was some real shit.
Went to UCSF. They moved fast. Had to sign the waiver, or if you die during surgery, it's not on them. Right. Type shit. Right. They took off 1.5 feet of my colon. So big surgery. It was only supposed to be 3 hours. It was 8.5 hours. Damn. So my phone, when I was down, was
tripping.
Everyone was tripping. They thought I died because I went in there. He'd be out this time. It's during COVID. You can't be there. You can't see no one. I didn't even
think about that. Yeah,
so
nobody can even.
I had to go in there by myself, no support. Felt
thinking this might be the end.
Had to sign a paper like, yo, if I die, it's all good.
Oh, bro.
Woke up 8.5 hours later.
Did you pray before they put the anesthesia on you?
Bro, I just took it like, bro, it is what it is.
Just rolled with it.
I tried to talk to them like, yo, so they're here. I'm like, how's it? And I was out. I couldn't even get off one word. They put the mask on me. But when I woke up, they're like, yo, people are blowing this hospital up. They want to know what's up with you. I'm like, cool. And I was supposed to be all good. They took it out. I was recovered after 2 months. Was in the driveway walking because you had to learn how to walk and just move your stomach around a little bit. And It's a big scar, Right. And then I got a call from my doctor again. Can you chat? I'm like, motherfucker.
Man, stop texting me, bro. Dude. Stop texting me.
So I called him. He's like, look, we wish this wasn't the case, but there's still circulating tumor DNA. You have to do chemo. I'm like, fuck. God damn it. So I did chemo for about 6 months, and I tapped out in the 5th round. I couldn't go anymore. Right. Because my nerves started getting fucked up. And I was like, I don't want to be ruined for the rest of my life. I'm like, look, I'll take whatever God gives me. I feel like I did whatever I could. But you got 2 more rounds. I'm like, I'm not doing it no more. I'm done. So I've been good ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think did it? What saved you?
I mean, I think that just like a good surgery and just I was doing very, very intense rounds of chemo. Like I wasn't doing the port in the chest.
Right.
So that's what killed my mom. My mom had cancer, same kind of stomach cancer, and she had got a port in her chest, and it created like a clog, kind of like clogged her veins up.
Right.
And so a blood clot, that's what it was.
Right.
And so they couldn't give her chemo anymore. So she went from supposed to live to like 3 to 10 years to got a few months left. Damn. So I was too scared of the port, and so I had to do it through a PICC line in my veins.
Uh-huh.
And the dose they were giving me when I go in for a session, we a dose that someone was supposed to be taking over a week or a 2 week time.
Damn.
So they were slamming me hard with that shit. And so
you were
I was
hitting a double shot.
Man, I was taking a 5-shot espresso with that shit, bro. It was insane. But I think I just nuked that bitch out. And so
damn,
I'm just praying I'm good. I think I'm like at the halfway mark of being clean.
Fuck yeah.
They say if you go 5 years without getting it, this is very unlikely it comes back. I'm just gonna keep it like that.
That's an inspiration, bro.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that people need to be aware of their health. I'm actually about to go speak at something at City Hall on the 5th, March 5th. You know, the biggest communities impacted by colon cancer is like the Latino community right now,
for sure,
especially the Central Valley.
Yeah, and it's really like getting younger and younger every year.
Super young. So they're saying it's super young Latinos in the Central Valley, and of course other parts of America. But we grew up in the fast food era. We grew up on when they first introduced fucking McDonald's and made it more of a, you know, a faster process than it already was, and Burger Kings and the KFCs and Taco Bells. Our parents thought it was a quick way to feed us, and the chips and the cookies and the snacks like is a quick way to keep us fed and, you know, feed our friends. But man, it's shit. It's trash.
Hell yeah. You know how many $2 2 hamburger 2 fries meals that I used to eat?
Me too. Hey, I pass by Burger King every day and wish I wanted. I'm like, man, shit, but I know better than that.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah, that's true, man. Health is wealth now, really.
It's the biggest wealth because, bro, when I was on that floor, I was just another naked dude. I was just a dude in a robe.
Right.
Didn't matter who I was, how much money I had, it doesn't, whatever.
The great equalizer.
Yeah. I seen nurses coming in with tattoos and shit. I'm like, she definitely knows who I am, but I was just a fucking
body.
patient. Yeah.
You're just a body in there.
Crazy.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
Whew. You go from that, overcoming cancer, to gracing the cover of Forbes, bro. It
was a weird roller coaster. So, you know, it was like, I was like, cookies is popping, everything's going. Oh my God, all this momentum, then cancer. And then out of cancer to like Forbes.
Right.
Then like from Forbes, like it was like Ad Age, Clio Award.
All kinds of
shit.
Boom,
boom, boom. Then big lawsuits.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Then the haters.
Yeah. It's like, but it's a crazy roller coaster to go from like cookies blowing up the way it did to cancer, to Forbes magazine, to all these other achievements, then big lawsuit and smear campaigns and name everywhere. Fraud, committed fraud. I'm self-yelling. I did this. It's like, whoa. Like,
well, you know, people love to build up the hero and tear them down in America. You know what I'm saying?
I think they love to build people up and tear them down everywhere. It's just fucked up. But guys like us can't be torn down.
Never, bro.
It's not possible.
There's no cookies without Berner.
Yeah, there's just not like, I feel like I've done too much for the game, and I feel like I've been a good dude, and just karmatically I ain't done nothing wrong to nobody, and I love people. I've always loved people, and so I think their smear campaigns didn't really go as far as I could. People ain't buying that shit. I never ripped nobody off.
Listen, nobody buying that shit.
No.
So you graced the cover of Forbes because you earned it, bro. Yeah. And that's why the haters came out. When I saw it, I was in prison, and when they were like, yo, Berner's on the cover of Forbes, bro, I was so inspired by that. Like, and I wasn't alone on that. I know I wasn't, because there was tons of men and women who are incarcerated that saw that and were like, hell, motherfucking
for some weed.
For some
and the crazy
weed,
thing is, I almost didn't even be on the cover, because when they called me, it was last minute that I said, hey, they want to take a picture of you, do an interview with you, and you might be on the cover for Forbes. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, when? They said, this Friday. I said, well, I'm in Montana. I just got done with chemo. I'm just chilling with my family. I really want to soak this shit up. Tell them thank you, but bro, I'm not flying nowhere right now. You heard me earlier. I'm like, I'm not flying nowhere. I didn't want to do it at the time. I was just like, damn, are you serious? I'm like, look, I mean, might be is a big word.
So it's Forbes.
It's like, you know, it's Forbes, but I might be on the, if it was a guarantee, maybe I'd fly to New York right now, but dude, small plane from Montana to New York, I'm good. I'm just chilling.
I hate them small planes.
She's like, well, what if they came to you? I'm like, if they came to me, I'd do it. But then I had no clothes. I was in Montana. And when I go to Montana, I just dress t-shirt, shorts, right? So I had to fly in that jacket that was on the cover with Stingy.
Was that chinchilla right there?
It was just a little Remy or whatever it was. But Stingy flew it in from SF.
Okay, shout out Stingy coming through.
When I took the picture, I only had the jacket on, some basketball shorts, so it was hella random.
Hell yeah,
and,
COVID.
And the funny thing is that like that was the first test picture because I put my chains on afterwards.
Right.
And I smoked real quick. He's like, get in your vibe. And I smoked and my eyes turned bloodshot. They're hella low. He's like, I can't see your eyes. I can't see your eyes. I'm like, so the one test shot we took before I started smoking and put all my shit on was that one that you see there. It was the first shot I took. It was the cover. Boom. And every other one I was smoking and my eyes were hella low. I was looking hella high. I had my chains on. So that picture right there was with my basketball shorts with fucking no chains on, just first test shot. But it was, I didn't find out until the day it came out that I was going to be on the cover. They didn't tell you. They're just like, look, it could be, and we don't know yet. And so the day before they said, look, tomorrow, 6 a.m., your time, 9 a.m., whatever it was, on the East Coast time, it's going to come out. You're on the cover. I'm like, oh, shit. So it's tight.
Hell yeah. That's a lifetime achievement, though.
It's big, bro, because even some of the, big business guys that do business with, like, there's so many people out there more wealthier than me and way more successful than me, but they will never be able to do that.
No, ever.
It's like, it's a crazy compliment.
And just from where you're from, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's, to me, like, one of the biggest things that you do is you show people from the culture that we can make it.
For sure. Everyone can make it. You just got to love what you do. You got to stay behind it. Like, if you're in it right now for a quick bag, then get the fuck out. This is a longevity play, and this is a play that's going to take a lot of work, a lot of hard, and just hard, long nights, a lot of hard work. Nothing easy about selling weed in 2025.
Man, say that again.
Fucking, there's not a lot of money in it, but I got wealthy from just working hard. That's it.
I think a lot of people miss that. Like, they see. Like they see the outside, right? They see chains and they see, Forbes covers and stuff like that. And they don't realize like the amount of hard work that comes into it. It's like, if you don't put in the work, this does not happen.
Yeah. Like I said the other night, I couldn't even stop thinking about work. So it's like, it's nonstop work. It's a lot of sacrifice, especially with your family.
Right.
And there's a lot of uncertainty. Like, I feel like I'm falling off right now because I'm like, man, I'm not outside as much as I used to be. But,
Right.
At the end of the day, it's like, a lot of my money came from the clothing and the music. It didn't really come from the weed yet. I mean, maybe cookies is worth a bunch of money one day, but as of right now, this better than anyone. There's no money in weed like that.
Right.
There's really money in putting your brand out there, but the clothing is what really got me papered up.
Let's talk about that for a second. So you brand the hoodies, right? Was that the first thing you brand?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're rocking them in like videos and shit, and you're spitting in them and kind of promoting with them. And then when does it catch fire? Like what happens is there a certain moment or is it like a gradual?
Yeah, no, it was just failing. It was anything. I understand the clothing business. Every time I'd print up tees, it would just be too many different sizes. Fucking never would sell them. But then I just did the $100 hoodie. I did 100 hoodies at $100, and that's when it popped.
Okay. Set your value. Kind of did like a Nipsey Hussle move that he did with his album.
I said, look, I'm making these cookie hoodies right here with this design with the colorful strings. I never did it before. 100 of them going for $100, and then fucking sold out in like less than 2 minutes. I was like, whoa. And that was an extreme change because I never sold anything with cookies SF. Matter of fact, it was so bad that I would sell a couple t-shirts and be discouraged and wouldn't fulfill them and have to return the money. So At that point, I was like, okay, I just sold all 100. Let's box them up. Let's send them out. Then I ran the Raiders colorway. The Raiders colorway sold out in like, I think 42 seconds. That's 10 bands. Boom. So damn, okay. The Niners colorway. Boom. 2 minutes. Boom. So I just kept running it up, and then people were starting to hit me. How can I get it? Because it's crazy.
Exclusive.
Just made it pop.
Yeah.
But it happened out of nowhere.
Wow. That's I didn't know that part of the story, and that shows you right there. Look at that. Is when you set your own value and you make something exclusive, bro.
I had no knowledge of that shit before on how to market it, how to brand it, how to print size runs or anything like that. I just went for it and the shit popped off. And to date, I think Cookies SF, the clothing side of things, did $100 million so far. So it's like
100 million,
maybe over $100 million, a little over 100 million just throughout the 10 years we've been rocking. That's how much we've generated in revenue. That's not what I put in my pocket, obviously, for pocket watchers. Right. That's what we generate as a company. Is over a little over $100 million.
100 milli. Somebody give me a mic so I can drop this motherfucker in here.
Off cotton.
Off cotton, baby.
Yeah.
Man, that's impressive, dog.
Yeah.
Man, So impressive. From going in again, like your mode, like, hey, I might not have the education on this. I might not have all the knowledge on this. I'm going to dive in here. I'm going to fail a few times, as many times as I need to, but I'm going to make this shit pop.
And I think the maniest thing is I flipped 19 G's to 100 million because I put in 19,000. My mom left me when she passed away. That was in an IRA account. It was like 30 grand, but if I cashed it early, it was 19 G's. I was like, yo, I kissed the check. I'm like, this is my last shot. This is my last shot for Cookies SF because I kept failing. I'm like, yo, here's 19 G's. I stopped selling weed. I'm like, let me just be a dad. Let me try to figure out how to go legit. Put the 19 G's in the account. Did that fucking hoodie run and boom.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
I love that, man. 19 G's to 100 mil.
Yeah, maniest flip ever, honestly.
Man, that is that's inspirational, man.
Yeah. I just want to give cats watching some game because I don't really actually ever talk about this shit at all, you know?
Good, man. I appreciate that, though, because people need to hear that, man.
Yeah.
People do. Like, it's like I said, people that are from the mud that are looking for ways to make it, they're scrappy. They don't got an education either. They got kicked out of school. I dropped out of high school. My GED came from juvenile hall. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that you can't make it.
Yeah. No.
That don't mean you can't make it.
It's hella possible to make it. You just got to put your heart into it. That's it.
Again, from the streets of San Francisco, Harvard invites you to go speak. Yeah. Holy fucking shit.
It's crazy.
Bro, Harvard.
I can't even spell.
Harvard, bro.
Yeah.
The Ivy League.
Yeah.
The school that's been around since like the 1600s or some shit.
Crazy. It was crazy being on the campus.
What was that like? They come and say, hey, Bern, we want you to come grace us with a speech. It wasn't like a graduation speech or something. It was just like you come in to talk to the staff and students, right?
Yeah. So I was at the Forbes summit and the Forbes 30 under 30 summit, and then some kid approached me afterwards. Shout out to, I think his name was Giovanni. I'm high right now. My bad. I think the homie Giovanni approached me and was like, "Look,
a fellow paisan."
Not even. Okay. Maybe I'm high. Maybe it's not even his name. So if it's not your name, I'm sorry because it's a great opportunity.
Giovanni, possibly.
It's been a long week, but. He approached me and said, would you ever come speak at the Harvard Business School? I'm like, shit, what's up? I'm trying to pull up to Harvard. He's like, cool. Hit me up. I pulled up, spoke to the school, the kids that were into cannabis, trying to learn cannabis business, and shit was crazy.
Yeah, man. That was another super inspirational moment that I saw you. I was just like, man, my bro's talking at Harvard, man.
I pulled up in a Sprinter van blowing big to Harvard.
They never seen that.
Nah, I was on campus smoking big and hopped out the Sprinter when did my speech, and it was tight, man. Like a lot of support in the room, and even a couple of guys that were at the conference wanted to intern for us. I'm like, damn, this is crazy. Fools at Harvard want to come work for Cookies. It's pretty tight.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They're over there getting the top education where they want to come work, bro.
Yeah.
That shows you like what you built. Like, because I believe this so much, like every company, every organization, every team, it doesn't matter. It's a top-down situation. Like the culture of the company is built at the top and it trickles down. Like if the top is a dude is a dick and he's a shady cat, like you can see it when you walk into where their facilities are or whatever it is. It's a vibe, Yeah. They know they're not being treated well, so they ain't treating people well. And Cookies is not like that. Like it's a straight vibe, man. And do you feel responsible for like the whole vibe of the company? Like, how does that sit on your shoulders, man?
It's a lot of pressure. I feel like Cookies is me, though. I mean, it's kind of like what I've kind of created and just kind of birthed. And I feel like we've done a good job. We expanded really fast, which people, claim we're corporate and we're sold out and whatnot. But I never wanted to really compete with any of my fellow cats in the game. I really wanted to compete with the MSOs that didn't have any like real pure intentions for cannabis. You see these big old companies get billions of dollars in funding and go open up a bunch of stores with terrible weed and no one from the culture working there. I'm like, man, if I can go hard and raise the bar for certain markets, I have to make these other MSOs go hire real people, real cultivators, real breeders, real operators, good people that really love weed to work in the stores. Like I wanted to be competition to them. In a good way, though, not even like a bad way, just really make people
step your game up.
Yeah, make people have to step their game up. So I feel like we've done a good job of it, but I feel like the vibe of the company kind of relies on me. I mean, the marketing, the branding, the menus I select, the stuff that we hunt, like it's kind of me. it's kind of hard because they've expanded so fast.
Right.
We lost like the personal touch to every single store.
It's
like
impossible.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
But we're working backwards right now in certain markets. Like I see people are upset with quality in certain markets. I get it. I think what people need to understand is I didn't raise hundreds of millions of dollars. I didn't raise billions of dollars.
Right.
I raised a fucking quarter, a very, very baby fraction of money that other companies did. And when the time is right, we'll raise money at a big raise, and we'll go buy some of these assets and we'll dial it in the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
But right now, the name of the game is getting our name out there, planting our flag everywhere, kind of setting up the strategy for like global expansion. So people don't really get it. I don't expect them to, because otherwise then everyone would be doing it.
Right. Listen, if you're the one in the game and there's 100,000 people watching the game in the stadium and they all have opinions on how you should run each play, right? And if we stop and we argue or talk with every single person that has an opinion on how we should run the play, you ain't gonna run no plays.
There was like two ways to do it. I could either raise a bunch of money and fund and own each spot, kind of like the Jungle Boy model.
Right.
I like make sure everything's growing to my perfection. But it would take like 10 years to get to expand the way we did in 2 years.
Right.
I was like, okay, there's another way to kind of leverage existing operators and cultivators to kind of get my foot in the door. Right. Prove the concept. Then when I have a better valuation, go raise a bunch of money. Not when I have a lower valuation. Right. Then go buy the assets, then dial them in. Like it's painful. I'm like Rocky Balboa right now. I'm getting in the face. Getting
the
hit
rope-a-dope.
Getting punched left, right, boom, boom, boom. But when I come out of the end, I'm going to be swinging, I'm going to win. Mm-hmm. It's just, you have to, I don't expect everyone to see what I see, but I see it. It's clear as broad day.
They never will.
Yeah.
They never will.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing about it. So Cookies is now is the most recognizable cannabis brand and one of the most recognizable clothing brands on the globe.
For sure.
Straight up. And you did that without a marketing degree, without a team of like a, whole bunch of people teaching you how to do it. You talked about investment, right? About taking on investment. Like my partner and I and our team, like we're at a real growth phase right now with Profit, right? And where people are talking to us about taking on investment. What is your advice to like a brand like growing and coming up about taking on investment over debt?
Yeah, so investment, like the way we did it and the way I recommend, especially for you, is like find the right person that's not going to be missing that money. Like find someone that understands the long play. Right. Also do your due diligence on that person, but don't raise a lot right now. Just raise enough to get what you need, because the people are trying to put like 150 million to us in the very beginning. I didn't want to do it because I would have diluted down to nothing. Right. But now if I take $150 million, and I'm not really diluting that much. I dilute a little bit. Yeah. Because now our valuation is way higher. So I would just take minimal money for someone that's cool, that understands the game, that wants to see you guys win for the long term, the long run. There's a lot of predatory investors out there that have intentions of putting money in, trying to take someone's company, right, or that aren't patient enough to let the founder see things through the way they want to. Right. I would just take as much money as you need to keep pushing on, and just try to grind it out as long as you can, because taking money could be dangerous for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I see it too. I do see some of the situations, and even me watching from the outside your situation and other people that, like, when you invite people into your home and then one time and they start to act funny and try to start controlling things, or, it's not cool. So it makes it to where, you have to be careful about who you mess with, right? Partnerships, who you partner with is almost or more important than the numbers that you're going to make on the partnership, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like also too, you have to leverage who you are and what you got. Like you guys got great genetics. I just seen what you guys got. You guys are pheno hunting and finding new things. So you have proprietary shit, I
appreciate that.
I would leverage who you are, because every great brand has a good founder and a good story behind it. You have a great story. And there's people that need that. People are trying to pop off brands just for artwork and white label bud. Like there's going to be people that really need a good founder and a good story. Like you have that, bro. Like people love brands with a story behind it.
Thank you. I appreciate that, bro. But we care. Like I really, really love this plant, and
you did a lot of time for it. How much time you do for it?
15 years, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, so with that being said, like whoever is going to invest with you has to fucking understand, I already put down 15 years for this shit. Right. So let's just go ahead and put that out there right now. You know what I'm saying?
Blood,
like,
sweat, and equity, 15 years.
For sure. They have to just fuck with your long play vision.
Right. Yeah. And I'm glad you said that too, because that is, people need to hear that. It can't just be somebody with money. It has to be somebody that also shares like your vision for what the end game is on this.
I turned down hella money for my businesses because
you have to love this.
Yeah.
You could have walked away 10 times already. What makes Berner stay right now? Berner could cash out right now.
Yeah, I'm not even ready for that yet.
No.
I gotta see it through. I have to. If I were to cash out now, then there'll still be complaints in certain markets. But if I wait and raise the money the right way and go dial in the facilities and put SOPs and standards on the way that our shit's supposed to be grown. We're also mapping out like a 100-year menu. So genetics that we're finding in one log, we're just putting in cold storage. This will come out 2060. This will come out 2075. Like shit like that. Like we're really thinking about this shit. And so when I exit it, if I ever exit it, which I don't ever think I will, but if I ever exit it or get a liquidity event, at least there's a game plan.
Right.
Shit got to be growing like this. Shit got to pass these QC checks. This shit got to be boom, boom, boom. So just waiting for it to get it right.
How important is an end game exit strategy? I feel like a lot of people float in this thing and have no idea like how to close it.
It's hella important. I mean, there's two ways to go about it. You can do something that you have for generations you pass on to your kids, which is my goal. You could exit it, or you can find like a good liquidity event where like someone buys a cool majority of your company, but you keep like super board rights. You have like super voting power and shit like that. So I don't think anyone's ever gonna let me walk away. I'm in this shit to look like Colonel Sanders and shit. So
and little Gil's running it.
Yeah. So I like to have like maybe sell like 20% of the company one day and just be able to put some bread in my pocket and rock it out and game my kids up on how to run it. But we'll see. When
we build these things, we think about legacy. And we think about what we can leave for our kids, right? Because that's what's important, right? Who cares what we can do now? It's like what we can leave for our kids behind us, what we can, the legacy of us as a person, of who we helped, what we build.
Yep, for sure. This can be tough. I mean, I don't know if I ever let it go, but open to see what happens in the future. Maybe we take it public, let everyone own a piece of it or something.
Right. What state is Berner most excited about right now?
Like quality wise, or just like building up the state?
Both building up the state and
New Mexico.
New Mexico?
Yeah. We got some of the best weed in the game right now in New Mexico. And I think the reason why I'm most excited about it is the one facility that we have that's 100% dedicated to growing our genetics the best way possible and servicing our stores. New Mexico is probably like the most oversaturated market in the game right now, but our stores are fucking owning the market because we have operators that care about the brand.
Good.
Now I'm not saying that other operators don't care about the brand,
right?
But this operator really cares,
right? Super
and
passionate.
They're really good at cultivating, and they're not trying to build hella other brands. They're just focused on cookies,
right?
And so some of our situations in limited license markets have operators that really care about the brand. They're doing a great job cultivating, but they also have their other brands that are not 100% focused on it.
Right.
This is a group that's just crushing it for us. So I'm super juiced about New Mexico.
They got like side things and stuff, and some people it's not their focus, and some people it's their baby. Mm-hmm. The hemp THC lane, where do you see that going? What's your prediction on it?
I think the feds legalized weed when they did that. Just certain people haven't really understood it yet. So, and it's going, and it's probably going to be cock blocked for a little while longer. And until they federally legalize weed, it's probably going to be able to rock.
It's an interesting lane to me, and you're right. They did.
They did it.
Like it's straight in black and white, and I don't know if Trump cares to fix it. I think Trump's cool with the status quo, and
I don't even think they know what they did.
Right.
I don't even think they understand why it's so similar to just regular weed.
Right.
I think that someone needs to go sit down and tell, people in power, like, hey, you already legalized it,
right.
And this is how it looks, and this is how it's working. You might as well just go ahead and push the rest through.
Well, listen, bro, why isn't that person you? Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, Trump wants to be cool. Mm-hmm. Nobody is cooler than Berner. Trump, to be able to have Trump listen to Berner on legalization or opening interstate commerce, Trump would listen to you. Trump would listen to you, dog.
I'm open to talk to anyone. Any of these older guys that just don't get it, I'm open to educate them, but I don't know if they want that just yet.
I think they need it. Listen, White House, reach out to my bro, man.
Anyone in position. I know I try to put feelers out to Chuck Schumer and other people back in the days.
Yeah.
Look, whoever it is, like, we're here to game you up. Like,
Yeah, this
really
is not a right-left thing.
Yeah.
Anybody. We're here to push the issues forward that we care about.
If you're in position to understand why you guys are dropping the ball, not just for our country, but for, the good people that enjoy cannabis, and,
Yes.
you guys keep trying to talk about ways to find money. It's right here. Just make it fair for the farmer, make it fair for the operator, take these taxes down. Let's get some money together.
Man, amen to that. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like if we can make cannabis a commodity, I know that's what's super crazy talk. I know that's like, I'm going wild right now saying that cannabis should be treated like a commodity. But when that happens and you take all these regulations, all this overtaxation going on, you'll really see like the flourishing of the industry and what it could do.
Yeah, the taxation is fucked up. Like,
Crazy,
it's not even
dog.
fair. 280E is fucking trash.
Bro, even just like the amount of tax dollars on like, so when the customer walks into a dispensary in California and spends $1, almost 40 cents of that is tax. That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
And they think, profit and cookies are charging this much for it. Man, no, we're trying to give it to you at the best price we can. But when the city throws another 40% on top of it, or not only the city, state, and all these other people, it makes it unsustainable. Like, do you see that? What do you see happening with Prop 64 and the state of California? Like, it can't keep going the way it's going. So what do you see?
They have to
happening?
fix it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you can't, if you tax food like that, you wouldn't be able to buy food anymore. If you tax alcohol like that, you wouldn't be able to buy alcohol.
Right.
Like, if you tax the movie tickets like that, I mean, why are you only doing it to weed? So
Right.
if you guys, if the government really claims that they want the illegal drug trade to go away and they want, the black market to go away, then fix the white market. Make
Right.
it to where people, do you know anyone's making money in the weed?
Right. Yeah.
No one's making money off weed right now. It's
Right.
like everyone's just trying to do it because we love it, but make it to where we can make some money together, and then I'm sure your problems will be fixed.
And that was the thing too, I think is lost on a lot of people. And you didn't say this, but this is true. 100 is because you wouldn't be here otherwise, is the reason you haven't cashed out. And the reason people sit here and they struggle through all this stuff is because we love this shit.
Love this shit, bro. Like, it's just what I live for. I mean, even the opportunity I was telling you about earlier with a location that I really want to try to get my hands, like, I'm willing to go do whatever I got to do for. I love this shit.
Man, I hope that happens.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like, I don't need it. It's not going to make or break me financially. It's probably going to fuck my pockets up, but I love it. I live
Right.
for it. Like, I want to have my Rocky Balboa in the restaurant type cheers moment. I just want to be in there with a shady towel over my shoulder and be like, what do you guys need? Like, fucking this one. That's all I want.
Oh man, I'll go there.
Yeah.
I'll go there every day.
Yeah, good sesh, good sesh.
Yeah, man. I really hope that happens. You've gotten into film producing lately.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that something you're really passionate about right now?
Was.
So
Hollywood-
what stole it?
Hollywood has a lot of gatekeeping, and
A lot of gatekeeping.
I think if you notice, if you look at movies, they're all the same. There's a lot of remakes. There's nothing edgy.
Marvel,
there's
lot of Marvel BS.
Yeah, there's nothing edgy. There's nothing raw. Like, I made something edgy and raw, and I wrote it my own way, and I funded it myself, and I produced it myself, and no one will fuck with it. It's not because the movie's not good. It's not because the movie wasn't shot properly. It's not because the movie wasn't not going to hit a certain audience, but it's just because it's not them in charge of it. And I just feel like, man, if this is this hard, and I've been sitting on this film for a year, and the film was done, and there's a shortage of films, and no one's picking it up, it's like, do I really want to fuck with this shit?
Man, that's shady, man. So you have this film ready, and they're just gatekeeping on whether or not it could be released to the public.
It's just people are saying they're not interested in it. There's not any
Right.
known actors. It's not our cup of tea. It's too urban. It's too hood. It's too street. It's like, cool. Well, for who?
Right.
'Cause I know
a bunch
there's
of
a whole-
undercover racist talk.
I know there's a whole bunch of people that love to go see this shit right now, especially Northern
Man.
California, but really just anyone that's from the game. Like, there's nothing tight. I go on Netflix every night. It's the same shit. Go to Amazon, same shit. Go to the movie theater, same shit. Cheesy, soft remakes. And the problem with Hollywood is that there's people up top that dictate what they want a story to say or what they want a story to tell. Well, this is a real story. I'm trying to tell this. Why can't I tell it?
Right.
Because it's not what we want to be told.
Right.
I almost feel like maybe it's like movies have been the way to kind of like shape narratives in the world. Maybe movies have been the way to like kind of get certain agendas out there. Maybe they don't want people telling
Don't
real
start
stories.
talking like that.
I'm just
Don't
saying.
start
that.
talking like that,
I'm just
bro.
saying, like, it's,
Yeah.
Why
No.
is there not independent filmmakers putting
Right.
out dope ass raw
For
edgy
real.
shit?
Right. Because they want culture shaped in a certain way. And that you didn't like, you're not saying anything that people aren't thinking right now. Like,
yes.
you know, that's real talk. Like movies have been shaping our thought process for decades, and they continue to do that.
It's what we see. It's what we watch.
Right.
It's how our mind thinks and imagines. It's like,
Right.
I don't know. But anyways, I really wanted to become like a big film producer. I already had like 3 films in the works, and now I'm just kind of holding, because I did put like $2 million into the film. I'm just sitting on it.
Right.
That's fucking anxiety, if you have ever heard of
Ooh,
it.
yeah, no, I feel you on that.
It's fucked.
And it was something that you were really passionate about, and you thought was going to be ready to take off, and then these cats, short stop you, and that's some BS. What is there, like, what can we do, dog? Is there another way to do this and break, like, you know how LaRussell's finding new ways to like have people put music out and have people invest in them. What can we do to make sure this comes out without them?
Yeah, so I think for this one, I'll probably just put it on YouTube, and if I don't figure it out, and everyone keeps saying I'm bluffing, but I mean, if I don't figure it out, I'm just going to put it out so people will see it.
Right.
But I think the long-term solution is like, I hate when people talk shit about shit instead of just doing shit. So I'm like, all right, let me sit back. Let me get a couple $100 million real quick liquid, and then I'll start putting out my own films on my own platform. That's the only way you could do it. Otherwise, you're just fucked. If you're going to try to go to Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, any of the big studios, you're going to have to do what they want. Otherwise, you have to have your own platform.
Yeah, and those stories like are important, bro. Like, you know, that's Frisco's New Jersey Drive. That's
100%.
Frisco's Menace to Society. You know what I'm saying? That's
the whole Bay Area is untapped, but there's hella stories I want to tell, and I feel like I'll never be able to tell them properly without being watered down. If I don't, I even sold my life rights, and I had a big show and works with a network for 2.5 years, a big fucking network. I'll tell you when we're off camera. They kept watering it down. And then finally, like, yeah, we don't know. Like, man, 2.5 years, I've been sitting on this thing. They paid me good money for it too. It's like, why wouldn't they want to put it out? It's just like, fuck that shit.
I'm going through the same thing with my book right now. Like, I had a company that picked it up, and I just I signed 18-month, I don't even know what it's called. Like, I basically give them the rights to continue making the movie for 18 months, and it keeps getting extended. And I'm like, how many times are we going to keep extending this? Like, because I want the movie to come out. I want the story to be told. For me too, it's like, it's so important for me to tell this story. And I feel you on your movie too, like how important that is. Like, that I would almost do what you did. If I knew 10 million people were going to go watch this movie and I didn't make 1 penny on it, I would do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to do. I'm like, fuck, if I put it on YouTube, I'll probably make like $3,000 off it. But at the end of the day, it's like, fuck it. It gets to come out. Proof of concept is there. Here's a full movie for me. Here's what it looks like.
Well, I look forward to it, bro. And if we can find it, we have to find ways to be able to, break these old gatekeeper mentalities, these old guard mentalities, because we did it. It's happening in music, and then they kind of grabbed it back on us, I think, a little bit. But I mean, it's happening in a lot of ways where we can now reach our people and our audience directly now. And I think you do a great job of that. Like, when you see it, like when you drop something, you get a bunch of people to listen to it. When you show up at a show, that's not that crowd is there. You see these other people, like they can't pack an arena. They can't pack a club. They can't bring people out because people really don't care about their music. But the culture supports what you're doing, bro.
For sure. I'm blessed, dude.
Yeah. Man, listen, I had a great show today, man. Just sitting with you here, dog. The game that you were able to lace me up with, phenomenal. Like, I will remember this forever, man. I'm so like grateful for you, brother, and your opportunity, the inspiration that you gave me throughout my prison time, and continuing to see you do your thing and ball and expand. And all the monuments, bro, like just seeing the Forbes, the Harvard, the Cookies Global, all these things like that. People that are from our culture, from our neighborhoods, we didn't see that. People from Modesto, where I'm from, they don't make it. So when Ricardo and I are doing our thing, like, we got our city on our back, and that's the same thing with you. Like, the Bay Area is on your back. When Big Bern walks out there, the Bay Area is celebrated, bro.
For sure. Northern California as a whole just needs to get its flowers, and you guys are doing a great job. I mean, I smoked a couple of J's of the shit you had earlier, and it's fucking amazing. And glad that you guys got a great farm, and glad you guys are pheno hunting. And I mean, just to see like how things have kind of elevated since the time I sat down with you in Vegas.
Yeah.
To see that you're like, all right,
we've been grinding, man.
Yeah, you're like, here's how I'm about to go about it. And I see you guys outside pulling up the stores, lacing accounts, doing fucking demo days, just everything you have to do. Like that's what you have to do, bro. So I appreciate you out there getting in, not just expecting people to go do it for you. Out there really just doing that shit, bro. I salute that.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Please go like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thanks for joining us on another show with Joint Forces.